Welcome back to the Britannia Coin Company. We're a coin dealer based in Royal Wootton Bassett in the UK. Today we're going to be looking at the highly popular Olympic Games 50p set, which was released in 2011 in the build-up to the 2012 London Olympic Games. We'll be working from the most common to the scarcest, the rarest coin of all. There was an open public competition to design each of these coins, with the winner receiving a gold-proof version of their coin plus a cash prize. There's quite a few coins for us to get into, so let's get started. Ranking in at number 31, we start with archery. This is one of the 5 in this set, which is a Paralympic sport. If you look to the top of the coin, inside of the 0 in 20, it has the Paralympic Games logo rather than the Olympic rings. It is the most common, with a mintage of 3,345,500, which went into circulation. The coin was designed by Piotr Powaga, who got his wife to model the action of pulling the bow to capture the moment before the finger releases. At number 30, we have athletics. It was designed by Florence Jackson, who was the winner of a Blue Peter competition to design the athletics coin, open to viewers between the ages of 6 and 12. Florence, aged 9 at the time, beat out 17,000 entrants to have her design struck as this design. A total of 2,224,000 were circulated. Number 29 is Aquatics, designed by Jonathan Oliphey, a part-time silversmith from Whitney, who we will return to later in this video for another design. He is also behind the 2012 Olympic Rio handover £2 coin and the £10 60th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's coronation too, and there were 2,179,000 of his Olympic aquatics released into our change. 28 is Canoeing. Timothy Lees, a stone carver who is a member of the Royal British Sculptors, designed the coin, although some have pointed out the paddle is inconsistent with the sport. Typically in canoeing, the paddler uses a single-bladed paddle, whereas kayak paddlers use a double-bladed paddle. If you look closely at the design, it's a double-bladed paddle in use. Either way, it's a lovely design, capturing the action and motion of this sport, and there were 2,166,500 put to use. Our 27th entry is boccia, our second Paralympic sport. The coin was designed by Justin Chung, who was an architecture student at Manchester Metropolitan University and is now a lifestyle and portrait photographer. There were 2,166,000 which entered circulation. In at 26 we have boxing. It was designed by Shane Avery, a delivery driver from Berkshire, who was inspired as his 2 children entered the Blue Peter competition, so he thought he'd have a go at it too, and his design was selected for this coin. There were 2,148,500 minted for use in circulation. Number 25 is Equestrian. Thomas Babbage, an English teacher from Warwickshire, created this design. He was away travelling when his design was chosen, leaving his dad to give him the call and let him know it had been selected. 2,142,500 went into circulation. Next up in joint 23rd, which is badminton. North London-based illustrator and graphic designer Emma Kelly's design was chosen, of which 2,133,500 were created. Also tied at 23rd is volleyball. Daniela Boothman, who was on maternity leave from working at Barclays Bank, saw adverts for the design competition. She had got A stars in art at school but hadn't pursued that until now, and ended up with 2,133,500 of her designs in circulation. On to the 22nd rarest, that would be fencing. It was the work of Ruth Summerfield, a radiologist based at the University Hospital of North Staffordshire, and was inspired by a friend who participates in fencing. A total of 2,115,500 of these were circulated. Our next coin ranks at 21st, and it's cycling. Theo Crutchley Mack, a 16-year-old keen cyclist, created the design only to lose it before submission, saved by his mother who found it in a pile of paperwork. Good work, Mum, because it was reproduced 2,090,500 times on the circulating coins. In at number 20, and our first coin under 2 million minted, it's weightlifting. The designer was Rob Shakespeare from Manchester, who does weightlifting at his local gym and wanted to recreate the dynamic shapes people make doing specific maneuvers. There were 1,879,500 of his designs which went into circulation. Into the teens now at 19, it's hockey. From Barry Island, Robert Evans' design was chosen, who saw his design as his best chance at being a part of the Olympic Games. He is actually a Royal Mint employee and had previously designed the wireless transmission and Brunel Achievements £2 coins. Of his hockey design though, 1,773,500 were circulated. Ranked to 18th is wheelchair rugby, another of the Paralympic sports, and the designer was Natasha Ratcliffe, another designer we'll be returning to later in the video, but someone who also returned to the Royal Mint to design 2018's Snowman 50p. Of the wheelchair rugby though, we saw 1,765,500 circulate. In at number 17 is sailing. Bruce Rushin, a Norfolk art teacher's design, was chosen for this coin. His inspiration came from seeing boats sailing from his kitchen window. He was also keen to do a sport that the UK was likely to medal in too. This wasn't his first competition win for the Royal Mint, having previously designed the Technologies design for the bimetallic £2 coin when it was first minted and remained the definitive design from 1997 up until 2015. There were 1,749,500 of his sailing 50p's which went into circulation. Sweet 16 is basketball. Sarah Payne's design was chosen, and it was her 97-year-old nan who suggested she should enter the competition. She had collected coins as a girl, and the love of the designs led her to become a professional designer, having created cards and toys previously. Thanks to her nan's suggestion, 1,748,000 were produced for circulation. We're into the top 15 now with another Paralympic sport, table tennis. A retired illustrator from Manchester, Alan Linsdall's entry was selected to be used. He had decided to enter early on, but was rather busy when he first found out about it, and when he got the time to create the design, he realised that that was the only day left to get it submitted. Choosing table tennis as he had played it from the age of 8 up until 28, thankfully he got it done in time, and it had 1,737,500 circulated versions of his design. Next up in 14th is gymnastics. We return to the work of Jonathan Oliphey, who we saw earlier design the Aquatics 50p. Using images from books and online, he saw the concept of capturing the movement of the ribbon as an exciting challenge. There ended up being 1,720,813 produced for circulation. Unlucky for some, number 13 is rowing. Not unlucky for David Prodmore though, a graphic designer from East Yorkshire, a fan of rowing himself, specifically of Sir Steve Redgrave. Wanting to give a story, he also included the wording on the design too. Of this coin, 1,717,300 went into circulation. We're getting close to the top 10 now. In 12th place is Pentathlon. Daniel Britton had just finished university and his father had heard of the competition on the radio. He chose to design Pentathlon for the challenge of including 5 sports in one design. He found a picture online of a swimmer causing a big splash and incorporated the other sports into the splash. There were 1,689,500 minted for circulation. Ranked at 11th, our next coin is handball. We return again to Natasha Ratcliffe, a sculptor from Falmouth, who also designed a previous coin we've looked at in this video, the wheelchair rugby 50p. Of her second coin, a total of 1,676,500 were produced for circulation. We're into the top 10 now, our first being Taekwondo. David Gibbons was buying coins on the Royal Mint website for his granddaughter when he saw an advert for the competition. He chose Taekwondo because it would be a challenge to design. The central person in the design came quickly, but it wasn't quite right. Then overnight the idea of a second figure came to him, and it really worked. It worked so well in fact that 1,664,000 went into our change. Down to 9th place now, we have shooting. Pravin Duhori, a part-time tutor for the BTEC National Diploma Art and Design programme at the City of Westminster College, had his design chosen for this sport. The exploding clay pigeon was inspired by the London Olympic logo. He felt really proud to play his own part in the build-up to the Olympic Games, and he should be rightly proud too, with 1,656,500 going into circulation. 8th position goes to the last Paralympic sport, this time goalball. An animator from Buckinghamshire, Jonathan Wren, was successful in his design. He chose goalball because of its fast-paced nature and was excited that his children would be able to enjoy his work for years to come. There's a good chance his children may have found one in their change, given that 1,615,500 were circulated. In at 7th we have tennis. The sculptor and jewellery designer from Peterborough, Tracy Baines, only had 1 week to get her submission in after seeing the competition advertised. Deciding to try for tennis because her mum was a big tennis fan and she used to watch the sport with her. A total of 1,454,000 were put into the wild with her design. In at number 6 we see triathlon. Sarah Harvey had just returned to work after maternity leave when an email circulated about the competition. Feeling fresh from her leave and using some of her lunch hours, she came up with this design. The hardest part for her was linking the 3 sports into one design. She managed to achieve that though, and 1,163,500 went into circulation. We move now into the top 5 rarest Olympic 50Ps, starting with judo. His second 50 pence design to be circulated, David Cornell's design was chosen, having previously designed the NHS 50p, along with a number of £5 coins, many of which were included in the World War I centenary sets, which we've looked at in a previous video series. He had taken up judo in his 20s, and the throw in his design is one in which he damaged his shoulder badly, having to then give up the sport. Now he has a fonder memory of that throw, as his design was selected and 1,161,500 went into circulation. We're down to number 4 now, and that's wrestling. Roderick Enriquez, a designer from Hammersmith, had his submission chosen to go onto the coin. He chose the sport because it links the ancient and modern Olympic Games, the sports happening in both of them. He was especially proud as a Filipino-British national to add to the many cultural backgrounds playing their part in the Olympic Games. There were 1,129,500 of these coins made for general circulation. Before we get into the top 3, an honourable mention to the Completer token. This was designed by Claire Aldridge, who had in the past created the Victoria Cross Medals 50p and also the Countdown to the Olympic Games £5 coins too. Although not a coin, it was offered by the Royal Mint to finish off the entire collection. Well then, we have our 3rd place finisher, which is football. A sports journalist from Harrow, Neil Wolfson's design was chosen. His design explains the offside rule, being quite the talking point in football. His lateral thinking won him the chance to have his design minted, and I must confess that my understanding of the offside rule comes from this coin particularly, so I'm rather grateful for his work as well. There were 1,125,500 released into circulation. For 2nd place, you may think we've already seen this coin. In a way, we have. This was Florence Jackson's athletics design, which won the Blue Peter competition in 2009. To celebrate her win, there were plans to mint and sell 100,000 of these coins dated 2009, instead of 2011, which the circulating versions were minted as. However, just under 20,000 were sold. With a plan to mint as many as were demanded, only 20% of the planned mintage was created, making this an exceptionally rare coin. Definitely worth checking the date on the obverse of this coin if you do find one. Next up we have number 1, the rarest Olympic 50 pence out there. You might again say that we've seen this one, and you can be forgiven for thinking so. This is the design that came in at number 29, but this original variant of the design by Jonathan Oliphey is about as rare as it gets with UK 50p's. Look closer at the face of the swimmer and you'll notice there are lines over the face. Unlike the design which we looked at earlier, there was a last minute change to the design to make the face of the swimmer clearer to see, and it is said that only 600 of these coins were produced. Now no one knows for sure exactly how many made it out of the mint, but with an estimate that low, it's no wonder they sell for rather large sums of money. We think Kew Gardens is a low minted coin at 120,000, but this coin is 200 times rarer than that. One thing I can't help but wonder is whether the designer's gold-proof version is of the original design or the last-minute alteration, because that would be a really exciting piece of numismatic wonder to own. Excitingly, we have one of these Olympic Aquatics with the lines over its face on our website, along with the 50p collection in their carded versions which we've been looking at today. There are links down in the description if you want to check those out. Well, there we go, all of the Olympic 50p coins worked through in order of rarity. Let me know in the comments which is your favourite design. For me personally though, I just love the Gymnastics. It's a really beautiful design. Keep an eye out in your change as well, you never know when some Olympic coins might turn up in your hand. If you're missing a couple from your collection as well, we've recently added our circulated products onto the website too. Again, there are links down in the description if you'd like to check that out as well. Be sure as well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free to do and means you won't miss out on any of our future uploads. We're also on Facebook and Instagram where we post lots of pictures of our coins. We're on Twitter and TikTok. We've got our shop and online store with links in the description if you'd like to go over and check that out. And I'll see you next time for more amazing coins from the Britannia Coin Company.